Spurs have finished in fourth as we take this pause now, heading into the winter break. That's after they won 4-3 against Leeds. What an eventful game this turned out to be. And in fact, that fourth goal was the first time that Spurs took the lead in the match, and it came very late on in the 83rd minute. I think Leeds and Jesse Marsch will feel aggrieved by a few decisions that went against them, none more so than the actual Harry Kane equaliser. We were in here and we're watching some of the highlights, and we both were in agreement how VAR has not intervened to pull a foul on Ilham Meslier, who clearly is barged into the goal and is then on the floor and can't do anything about it.
Was it Longley?
Yeah, Clement Longley.
Yeah, made the challenge, yeah.
Very odd that wasn't obviously looked at and wasn't overhauled as such. That being said, it's Spurs then that have picked up the 3 points, and it's a funny one with Spurs, Cass. We've talked about them before, and I know you said, look, like times they can be so boring to watch. Another slow start.
Oh, I didn't say them words, Nat. I said they can be a hard watch.
Right,
now you could probably,
right.
and I think Spurs fans know where I'm coming from on this.
I think they do. Yeah.
You know, they've been very difficult to consider how much talent they've got. Mm-hmm. I can't get how they can't start the game with Bentancur playing higher up the pitch, joining around Kane. Now, is it a coincidence he's done that a number of times? He's scored from positions where he's further forward. You know, he's a talented lad, Bentancur. He's the one that's got the most ability of the midfielders at Spurs. So you want to get him higher up the pitch. And when he joins higher up the pitch and Conte push him forward, because they keep going behind in games, they look a completely different team.
So why is he not doing that then? What is his decision? What makes him be so... It feels more, I don't want to say pragmatic, but it does feel as though there is this slow start to Spurs, which often is because of the way they're set up. And eventually, because they go behind in games, as they have done quite a lot this season, they then have to change how their approach to games. And as you say, Bentancur then gets pushed up forward.
Marseille away in the Champions League, exactly the same. Bentancur pushes plays 10 yards higher up the pitch. That allows Højbjerg as well to get a bit further on. So your team now are higher up the pitch. Enables you to get more bodies into the 18-yard box far easier, and then you get more goals. And I think that has stood out for me with Spurs, because when they do that, Spurs are a completely different team. Now, I can't fathom out why the first 45 minutes in most games that it seems very much being played out from the back and they're a bit more pragmatic in midfield. But the moment they go behind, like they did in Marseille, it's a completely different team. Spurs are like really pleasing on the eye. They're good to watch. And suddenly you see a 4-3 game and you think, well, you can see how Spurs done that, because they've got a lot of good attacking players and they've got one midfielder who can get goals, Bentancur.
So it was another slow start, but they have now won 13 points from losing positions in the Premier League this season, which is more than any other team. As for Leeds, they'll be gutted by the fact that they went 1-0 up, then they were 2-1 up, then they were 3-2 up, and they still could not hold on to get a point at least in this game, as they ended up losing 4-3. And then this is so typical of Leeds, isn't it? That kind of topsy-turvy roller coaster type of game. They will score plenty of goals at times. Like I mentioned before, when we played them against Brentford earlier on in this season, and we ended up winning 5-2. But every time they went forward, you thought they were a threat. It's just, unfortunately, defensively, they end up looking a little shaky and can fall apart.
Yeah, I mean, look, Somerville's goal was a terrific goal.
What a player he is.
Yeah, Rodrigo's got going this year. He really looks like they found a forward who's suddenly paying dividends, because they paid a decent fee for him when they got him. Leeds look like they're a side that are going to always cause problems to teams. I saw at Anfield, you know, that they won at Liverpool because they didn't just get 2 goals. They had 5 fantastic chances at Anfield. And you can see there's a side there that are going to cause problems to the opposition. They're a good enough team to do that. I'm like you, Nat. The Harry Kane goal, I still can't believe that was given.
It's odd. It's clear foul on the keeper, and so they're hampered in that moment. And yet,
especially with VAR there ready and waiting.
Yeah, it does seem very odd. But Leeds had 12 attempts in that game. 5 were on target. So they'll be really disappointed they couldn't come away with more. It means that they've finished this part of the season in 14th, 15 points from their 14 games. Jesse Marsch has come in for some stick at times this season, but are you seeing progress?
Well, they're still a dangerous team, and they're a Premier League team, and they're competing against sides with a lot of money. I mean, I said in midweek, I did a piece about this, about where, you know, fans' expectations now and booing, it's become commonplace around the, you know, we're so more critical of teams now, our own teams. I see it everywhere. You know, every game, there's such a knee-jerk reaction so often to our teams are playing.
The Sunday Sports Breakfast with Natalie, Sawyer and Tony Cascarino. Sunday mornings from 6 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.